Albert Einstein once said that failure is success in progress, which I used to think was a load of bullshit.
Oh my god. Please have.
I take failure really personally, as I know a lot of us creatives do. I keep myself awake at night thinking about missed opportunities and half-complete projects that will likely live and die on my growing collection of hard drives, and I begin the downward spiral of self-doubt and negativity. Back in 2019, I decided that I wanted to make filmmaking a big priority in my life. I had always loved the movies. Directors like the Coen brothers and Christopher Nolan were huge inspirations to me on the big screen. And I was falling out of love with still photography and wanted a new creative challenge to pursue. So I set off on my filmmaking journey, got better and better every day, and set a goal for myself to make YouTube and filmmaking my full-time focus by 2020. And then I failed. So I moved the goalposts again, started filling the Notes app with new video ideas, and traveled the world to some of the most epic filming locations imaginable. And then I didn't share a single video that I made. Finally, in 2022, I moved my life to New Zealand, planned out months of cinematic vlog content and adventure films, and I finally started to gain some momentum. But then I hit another wall. It just wasn't good enough. Looking back at all this old footage and these incomplete ideas feels so defeating. You know how it is. You feel so excited about something you've created in the moment. You feel so proud of it. And then a day or a week goes by and you come back to that same thing with so much doubt. You start picking apart every detail, finding flaws that you hadn't seen before, and you convince yourself that it's just not good enough. And more oftentimes than not, you just walk away from it altogether. It's a really frustrating cycle. But here's the thing. I realized that every time I failed, whether it was getting in my own way with perfectionism or simply being unhappy with the result, I was taking something positive away from each of those failures. Maybe not immediately, but eventually I could see how each of those moments shaped the way that I approach my work, my life, and my understanding of what it means to create. You know that rush of inspiration when an idea just clicks and you feel like you have to start shooting, sculpting, or painting right away? I absolutely love that, but that's often where I've tripped up. I get so excited about an idea or an adventure that I grab my gear, run out the door, and start filming with nothing more than a notion of what I wanted to capture. Once that initial excitement wore off, I'd find myself standing in the middle of nowhere, feeling so overwhelmed, without a shot list, and without a clear vision. I'd realize that I was trying to create a puzzle without knowing what the final picture would look like. And that is when things would start to fall apart. It wasn't just a failure in execution, it was a failure in planning. And I learned the hard way that inspiration is important, but without a solid plan, it's easy to lose your way. It's easy to get caught up in the highlight reels we see on Instagram and YouTube. Those perfectly curated moments that show only the best 10% of someone's life. But let's be honest, seeing that constant stream of perfection can make anyone feel like they're falling short. We naturally gravitate toward sharing our successes, but what we don't really see is what really matters. Those messy, imperfect moments behind the scenes. The truth is, that other 90%, the part that we don't show, is where real growth happens. It's in the mistakes, missteps, and moments of doubt that you start asking yourself the hard questions. Like, what went wrong? How could I have done this differently? Is this really what I want? And sometimes the answers aren't what you'd expect. Sometimes failure is a sign to pivot, or try something new, or dig deeper into why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. So what does the art of failure mean? For me, it's about seeing every failed attempt as a brushstroke on a canvas. Each one contributing to the bigger picture, even if it's not immediately obvious how. It's about recognizing that every misstep, every half-complete project is part of a larger narrative that's still unfolding. It's about embracing the messiness, the uncertainty, and the discomfort that comes with trying something new, pursuing dreams. And it's about understanding that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. It's a space where you get to learn, to grow, and to discover what you're truly capable of. And that's creativity in its truest form. All my shortcomings, failures, and half-complete projects weren't wasted efforts. They were steps that led me to create this film now. But while this story is far from perfect, it's a reflection of where I am on this journey. It's a culmination of every risk I took, every mistake I made, and every lesson I learned along the way. My hard drives are filled with 128 terabytes of life, adventure, and creativity. It's a mix of failure, success, and everything in between. And there's so much value in every experience, even the ones that didn't go as planned. So here's the failures that push us forward, the unfinished projects that we learn and grow from, and the honest beauty of life outside the highlight reel.